let's see. It appears as though we are live. Hi, welcome. Okay, so it looks like my camera is a little high. Maybe I'll just aim that down a little bit lower. Is that better? Not by much. How's that? Seems to be a bit better. Okay. Hi, everybody. Great. So we're going to hang out and do a bit of work today, so let's see. Hey, Stephen, how's it going? So, how's the music right now? So, I'm playing music from Galaxy Drifter. So I've been doing the soundtrack for Galaxy Drifter, and I'm playing the soundtrack for that. So I thought I'd share that with you. I thought it'd be pretty fun to share that with you guys. Okay, great. Fantastic. Hey, Yomerge, good to see you. Doomarine, how's it going? So let me know if the music's too loud at any point. So this is just the high quality audio. I haven't run it through a tape cassette yet. I'm going to wait until I finish the soundtrack entirely for Galaxy Drifter. So actually what I'm working on today is, so I was taking notes. So over the past week I've been working on game concepts which I can create for modern platforms and then bring those game concepts to legacy platforms as well. As that's what I'm really interested in right now. Is it's pushing me to be more to focus on an interesting and a fun and creative idea that's different. You know, when we were playing legacy consoles, we often saw games that were not genre games. They were just games that the developers had come up with that were just weird, interesting, fun ideas. And I noticed working on commercial games, I was getting stuck a little bit in creating game concepts that were just genre games. And I don't want to do that. I realize I'm not really having that much fun creating genre concepts. So I want to push myself to develop on legacy consoles because it is allowing me to develop my skills further in creating interesting and unique game concepts that are not genre games. Cheers, thanks, Doomarine. So this track, this is titled Miami Overdrive. So what I'm working on today is framework. So I'm going to show you from the ground up how I'm going to create this game. The game concept that I've come up with is going to be set in the same IP as Galaxy Drifter, so it can share lore, it can share some visual styles. But this style of game that I'm going to be working on today, that will hang out on stream, is a space shooter with a turn-based battle system. So it's kind of like, you know, your old school space shooters, except the battle system is an RPG turn-based, and it's a lot about leveling up your ship, recruiting temporary party members. That there's permadeath. Okay, I'm loving this background music. I'd love to feature it in one of my videos. Oh, sure, yeah, I'll send you the soundtrack once it's ready. So, and another reason why I want to work on games other than Silver Falls is I want to create a wide variety of things. I want to push myself creatively, and this lets me push myself in a creative direction that I haven't worked in before. So I'm very excited to work on Galaxy Drifter, and this game, which is called Starformers, again is in the same IP as Galaxy Drifter, is a space shooter with an RPG turn-based battle system. There are creatures called Starformers, and you can recruit Starformers, and they'll join your little group, and they can take damage, and when they get damaged, they die. But up until that point, you know, you can manage healing them, you can level them up, and you're taking on bounties and defeating, you know, enemies in space. Okay, so, and I'm going to try to work pretty quickly here, and I'll just show you how that... Sorry, I'm bumping the microphone here. I'm just going to move the mic now so I don't bump it. This is Neon Midnight. Hey, Sean Starr, good to see you. Okay, gameplay. And again, this game will target the VCS as well. Galaxy Drifter and this game Starformers. So, and again, if you're just checking in, I'm creating this game concept so I can create it on modern platforms, and I will bring it to legacy consoles as well. Starformer Core, that's going to store any database information. A Starformer Game Manager, and that stores basically what you would refer to as global variables, details that anyone will be able to access. Gameplay. Let's go ahead and just start this up. Starformer. Oop. We're going to go combatant. And we want the Starformer hero. Player hero. Oops. Ew. JavaScript, yucko. Starformer. Player hero. So a combatant is anyone that can participate in the battle system, and the combatant is added on to that to add logic. Here we go. So we have Starformer Gameplay Manager. I have an errant capital A in there, so let's go ahead. This keyboard has taken some damage. I worked very quickly, and sometimes I'm just kind of, working at top speed. So this keyboard is starting to get a little sluggish. I notice the keys get a little stuck a little bit. It's not because of Cheeto dust. I don't eat Cheetos while I'm working. I notice the control key gets stuck because I hold that key a lot for a lot of the work here. So, yeah, so I came up with this concept. I'm just going to borrow some graphics. So I've just opened up my project from Galaxy Drifter just so I can use a couple of base assets like ships and whatnot. And, thanks to everyone who submitted vocal lines for doing one-shot voice recordings for Galaxy Drifter. That was really exciting. There's a bit of lore that was in those lines. And when you start a new game in Starformer, which is what I'm working on today, you get to pick your pilot race, your ship's like what race your ship comes from, and then that adjusts your stats a little bit. So if we go to Pirate Attack here, I just want to grab the ship that's in there. Grab that. I might want to grab some asteroids as well. I'm going to grab an asteroid and a ship and go to Starformer. I'm just going to drop that in there, right? Okay, so I'm just going to use this ship as placeholder graphics. I'm going to turn up the music a little bit. So this is the vibe of the music. Hey, great, Jose, good to see you. The music that you're hearing now is from Galaxy Drifter. All of the music exists diegetically in Galaxy Drifter. You find tape cassettes as you're wandering through space, and you're listening to the music through a tape cassette, which is why I want to run the soundtrack through an actual tape cassette, so you hear imperfections and sort of physical damage to the musical medium. What's this great new idea you've been bragging about in the announcement? Jinoze, this is a game. Yesterday, I just wanted to come up with a small, simple game concept. I was writing conceptual notes for a puzzle game, and I took things a little too far, and it changed from a puzzle game into a space shooter with a turn-based RPG battle system. So while you're playing, and it's called Starformer, while you're playing Starformer, you control your ship through a menu. It's menu-driven. You can recruit creatures called Starformers. These are space creatures. They can join you, and there's permadeath. So if they get killed, they'll die. But you manage your ship through actions, and you perform actions when your ship has RAM, random access memory. So when you perform an action, it consumes RAM, and you need to wait for your ship's RAM to be freed up before you can take action again. And that's where the turn-based aspect comes in here. So let's go ahead and just reset that. Okay. And I'm going to set that here. Okay. And I just want a visual cue here so I know to scale. Okay, that's 1 to 1. Okay, so that's 1, and go ahead and reset this. Graphic. Oh, we get back to Silver Falls music. I'm might go back to... I might... Oh. Oh. Okay, never mind. I'll just manually go back. So how's everyone doing? How's your guys' week been? I think I was a little bit quiet on social media and whatnot, as I've just been working a heck of a lot. I'm finishing up Galaxy Drifter. That's almost done. I'm doing the last bit of polish on a number of different games. So I want a fair bit of presence, you see, on the ship here. Let's see here. And I want it to look, interesting, you know. So I'll put it at a perspective. Looks like a 3/4 perspective here, right? So that's just placeholder graphics, and we're going to put the ship here. Alright. And I want the ship to have a good amount of presence because this is your player entity. Yeah, so we'll take the camera. Let's see here. Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to leave that flat, right? Leave that flat, and I'll adjust the perspective of the camera now. Let me think about this for a second. Okay, so I've thought about it. I need to make some decisions here, right? So I'm going to use the... where's my axis? Okay. So today I'm working on this, and I'll be showing you just from the ground up how I put this whole game together. This is basically a space shooter with a turn-based RPG system. So I want to make it look interesting, right? So I'm just going to manually rotate the angle of all the graphics like that. It's a stylistic thing, it's a perspective thing. I'm going to go to my lighting. There we go, just so they catch the light in an interesting way. And I'm going to use an asteroid here for placement, just so that looks like thus. So there's going to be a few different Starformers is the name of the beast. So when you're playing through Starformer this game, you pretty often run through item shops, and item shops let you buy something called capture packs. And capture packs let you capture a Starformer, which is a space creature, and that Starformer will join you. They'll be flying alongside you. And they can attack as well, you know. And so let me very quickly set up the UI system here so we get a feel for what's going on here. So heads up display. I'm going to try to work quickly here. Okay. So, good to see you, Crispy. That looks like some type of spaceship game, I tell you what. Yeah. Hey, Kenny, good to see you. Okay, I've been exhausted. We have 5 weeks left in the semester, just trying to make it to the end. Hang in there, and then you get your break. Hang in there, Steven. You can do it. I believe in you. That's brutal. I always think back to sort of my high school years and how tough the teachers had it. Like, we were awful. Us students were horrible monsters, and we were ruining the teachers' lives, and I just feel awful about it. And the teachers did it. They hung in there. They did it. I don't know how they did it. I need to use the same visual filter system because I want it to be visually consistent with Galaxy Drifter. This is in the same franchise. So I'm going back into Galaxy Drifter, and I'm just going to grab a canvas from there so I can ensure consistency. So I'm going to grab, what is this? What's in here? Yep, I'm going to grab this canvas here. Grab that canvas. I think I need to target the UI camera. Is that what I need? There we go. And you can see that it's added that sort of imperfection, CRT sort of look to it. Gina's like, you've been sick all week. What'd you get? 2 weeks ago, basically, like, half the people in my archery club got sick. There's a bug going around. I stay at home working all day long, so I basically never get sick. That is not a humble brag. It is... What do you call it? Is that a sad brag? That I stay home and work all day long, so I never get sick? I'm going to call that a sad brag. So that is my sad brag. So I don't necessarily want the same computer-looking interface. I'm just going to use it for now. This is going to be a placeholder, just temporarily. So I'm going to take out... actually, I'm going to save that. I'm going to save my grouping because I can use that for later. So let's go ahead and just do that text. Put that in there. I'm going to save quite a few things here so I can reuse them. I'm going to go stats. Base stats here. Oh, we no longer need the group. Put that in there. And I do want it to, it does have to look different from Galaxy Drifter, because Galaxy Drifter, you're playing the perspective of inside the ship, whereas with this game, it's more of a third-person perspective here. So let me go ahead and grab that. And again, this is placeholder up here, right? And I think I'm going to remove that. I think I might remove the edging boundaries there. So let me go ahead and have a look here. The masking. Let's go ahead and remove the masking. I do like the warping. I do like that effect. I'll remove the masking, so now we have our corners back. Hey, Helenon! Good to see you. This is Starformers, the game that I'm working on. Just a couple hours ago. Doing well today. I got to watch a local youth fiddle performance. Oh man, that's so cool. I bet that's great. You know what is a massive advantage in music is when you start at a young age. I'm so far behind when it comes to music because I didn't have any musical training when I was younger, and I didn't really play any real music when I was younger, so I'm at a significant disadvantage. I'm going to use this font for now. Okay, so we're going to do this. HP. We'll go that like this. Text, that should be the most important thing that you see there. And I'm just going to put some placeholder values here. Let's say like, I wanted HP to reach into the maximums, right? Okay. So we're going to do that. We're going to set that up there. And again, the window is a placeholder. I've just borrowed that from Galaxy Drifter. Text HP. Correct. I'm going to head and press Control D. And I'm going to switch the justification here. That thumbs up. When did you start making games? Hey, Aiden, how's it going? Good to see you. Edit Universe, Shadow Forks, good to see you. Would you still be down to appear on a podcast? Yeah, sure. Send me an email. That'd be great. Let me know the details. If you can send me a DM on Discord so I can hear back from you again, we can work that out. So yeah, for anyone that's just checking in, that sort of missed the introduction here, this is a game that I'm working on that is set in the Galaxy Drifter universe. It's the same IP. So we'll go slash like that. Here we go. And in this game, it is a space shooter with a turn-based RPG battle system. Okay, so if this was 100, okay, great. So what we're not in the olden days here, so what I'm actually going to do is just put a little bit of visual clarity, a little bit of visual definition here. I'll put that in the middle. What I actually like to do is I like to make the slash a little bit bigger, just so it's a little more clear. Just the visual separation, Current and max. And actually, with the labels for your stats, I actually like to reduce the sort of the brightness of it a little bit, just so it's a little less distracting. So when the values are close together, it's less of a visual mess. So it's a really subtle visual decision. But like, see how like if I make that perfectly, we'll zoom in. If I make them all the same value, it's a little bit visually harder to parse, right? But if I reduce the brightness of that a little bit, the important information is easier to parse visually. You know, it's just a little bit less you have to sort of visually read it, you know. And you already know that means HP because you've sort of, that's information that you understand, you know. Alright, so in terms of the RAM indicator, I actually don't want numbers there. I want... Oh, I'm gonna see if... Okay, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can cheat a little bit here. So this is your RAM, so you can only act when you have ship RAM, when your RAM is not consumed. So in this game, it's a space shooter with a turn-based battle system, and your actions consume RAM. And when your RAM is occupied, you can't take any further action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, okay. Alright. This is kind of what I wanted for RAM anyway. So how many did I do? I didn't even count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I wanted 10 indicators there. There we go. For some reason it looks like that. It's like down a little lower, isn't it? Okay. So we're just going to have to manually scale it. So that's going to be the RAM. And what I actually do want... Okay, so text... So some typing here. RAM current. Right. Hey, thanks. I'm glad you like the music. This is music for Galaxy Drifter. And you find the music in the game by finding tape cassettes while you are drifting through space. And that... You go to your computer and you select the music and you can listen to it. Okay, go like this. I'll use the eyedropper tool here just so I can get the exact same color. Okay, so this is how you keep track of your RAM. So instead of drawing meters and whatnot, it can be text-based. So I can actually, you know, if you consume your RAM, it's gonna look like that. And then your RAM, when you perform an action, you have RAM lock, and then you need to wait for your RAM to be freed up, and then that lets your ship take another action. Okay. Okay, and so in order to, you do not directly control your ship's movement up and down. You use punch cards. And punch cards are a form of very old-time programming. They're antiques, basically. And the sort of vibe that I want with Galaxy Drifter in this universe, I want it to feel like they're using like 70s technology to traverse space. I think it's just such a fun and interesting vibe. And so in Starformers, you use punch cards, and they're consumable, so you constantly have to try to get more punch cards. And punch cards change the AI movement of your ship. So you can be like, avoid projectiles, you know, that sort of thing. And then you have to use basically item packs. Like if you need to activate your shields, you would use, you know, a reflector pack, and then that activates a shield, and then it will block enemy bullets for a little while. I kind of like this idea of consumability, because I'm trying to stick with this idea of like 60s, 70s technology in space. In that era, we were still like, things were not reusable. We just used things and then threw them away. And so for, you know, Galaxy Drifter, to fight enemies, you have to use things called blaster packs. Actually, I should show you some of that. Hold on. I'll show you a little bit of that. I'll show you a little bit of Galaxy Drifter here. Adam314. Hope my game still so. Oh, Adam, you're on the Discord, aren't you? You weren't you sharing some of your game with us? Yeah, I hope it does. You know it. All the best to you. Yeah, Shadow Fork, send me a DM. Alright, so this is Galaxy Drifter. So I'm gonna mount some stuff. So I'll show you some funtivities. I'm playing Galaxy Drifter right now. And again, I'm finishing this game up. I'm putting some polish, finishing the soundtrack. There's a couple games that you can play. I'll just select Ocean Shoot. So when you play Galaxy Drifter, you find tape cassettes in space, and the tape cassettes will either be a game or they'll be music. So we got Sunset Vegas coming up. Okay, so this is Ocean Shoot. This is a scroller shooting game, and it says press flork. So I'm going to press flork to start. And you can play little mini games while you're drifting through space. You can only have one bullet out, so you have to be very careful. And you do run out of fuel, so your goal is to do as many murders as possible. I've got 10, so it's like a high score base, trying to get as many murders as you can. Doom Marine, just wanted to bring up Aiden Mo's question again, because I assume it got missed. When did you start making games? Oh, I missed that. I started making games when I must have been 10 years old, I think, and I started using RPG Maker 95. I found that on the internet. It was translated by a man named Don Miguel, or he went by Don Miguel on the internet. He translated RPG Maker 95, then RPG Maker 98. Oh wait, no, 2000. Then I used that. Okay, so an endless expanse of emptiness surrounds the ship. So this is one of the hazards you'll encounter when you're traveling through space. I'll have my crew watch the empty abyss. And it says, as far as you can see, the only light left in the universe shines from the eyes of your companions. Beyond that, an empty abyss refuses to acknowledge your existence. I need to adjust that because the text is off the screen a little bit. Okay, so I am going to try to activate infraspeed to escape the black emptiness. Okay, I failed to chart a course. Let's try again. I'm wasting my Sklargard crystals here. Alright, I use a Sklargard crystal to escape. Okay, great. So, yeah, when you're starting out with game development, it's important to learn the concept of game development, the philosophies of game development, how to get an idea out of your head and into a workable form that is functional. That is a process that, if you start out using something like Unity or Unreal, it's going to get in the way. That stuff will get in the way. It'll make it harder. So it's better to use an assisted tool like RPG Maker or Game Maker. They hugely assist in the process. They do a huge amount of work for you, but also they're more limiting in terms of what you can achieve. But they are important for learning the process of making a game. So I'm going to check my inventory here. What have I got? Okay, I still have 2 Sklargard crystals, that's okay. Check my crew here. Oops, system check. See, I started in, probably 1999 or 2000 is when I started using RPG Maker as a kid, and that was so much fun. I cannot even tell you how much fun I had with RPG Maker as a kid. And then shortly after that, when I realized I wanted to make games of other styles, then I started learning Game Maker, and that is a hugely assisted tool as well, and that will let you further develop your skills. Okay, so I died. Primitive humans possessed minuscule mental processing organs and were mostly controlled by a desire to commit murders on a regular basis. In the dark era known as the 2000s, humans became lazy and weak and resorted to replacing physical murders with digital murders. So, if stuff happens while you're playing a game, the game keeps going on. Okay, I'm going to search for life. I'm going to find life. There's an abandoned vessel. What have we got? It was devoid of life. I didn't get anything. I'm going to get back to my game here. Ocean shoot. Oh, I exited. Hold on, Gazette Mount. Back to Ocean shoot. Okay, there we go. Oh, I ran out of fuel. So, let's see. There's a couple games as well. There's Dog keep healing from Quest of King. Oops. So yeah, you get to collect different tape cassettes, and it just gives this interesting vibe that it feels like you're finding tangible treasure in space, because when you find these cassettes, you can actually use them, you know. Oops. This is one of the games that is in there. It's Quest of King. So you're trying to collect treasures and avoid the monsters. So I might get my Earth Gold over there. Oh! Oh, that was close. Okay, cool. And an arrow that I can shoot. I want that. Okay, I got that. I did pick up the Earth Gold. Okay. Ah. Okay, I took some damage there. So you can see. Oh, okay. Crew to watch the endless expanse of space. Alright, let's listen to some Silver Falls music for a while now. So I'll turn the music down. Okay, I use a Sklarb Dark Crystal to navigate interspeed travel. Cool. So I haven't run into any hostiles yet, which is nice, because they'll beat you up. They'll do damage. So yeah, that's a little bit of Galaxy Drifter there. So Starformers is going to be set in the same franchise here. So I'm creating a little bit of base stats here. Have you ever made online or leaderboard system for a game? I have not. But from my understanding, Atari VCS users want online leaderboards, so I'm going to consider that. First, I'm just going to launch some games on the VCS, see how reception goes. It seems that people there really enjoy online leaderboards, they enjoy the competition, so if it is requested, then I will start developing games that take into account online leaderboards. Action, let's see. Dot. Oh, hold on. I want to do this. Action. Oh. Okay. And now. So here's the thing, though. When it's all capitals, it's harder to parse visually. So I'm gonna decide to have it not capitals. Action. Station. Like that. Text. Action. Okay, so that will let the player know what their ship's currently doing. And it gives it this programmatic feel. I really like the idea of that, you know? And it feels like you have to sort of pilot the ship with some sort of rudimentary programming. It makes it feel tangible, I think. Hey, Rescue Squad ship, good to see you. I'm gonna go back to the space music. I'm gonna go back to the soundtrack for Galaxy Drifter, so... Yeah. Next. Okay, and this will be text distance to next event. Okay, that'll sort of let you know, if there's like a shop coming up, or there's, enemies and whatnot. So at the moment, it's spaced a little rough. The HP is too close to the edge. Let's go ahead and move some things over now. I need to work on the labeling here, just so it's a little easier to read. going to be using different windows. So this is a placeholder, the background of the window here. Okay, great. This is my shit. So, how are you doing, Rescue Squad? How's it going? I'm just making some video games today. This is a new game concept that I've come up with that I will make on modern platforms, and then I'll be able to make it on legacy platforms as well. It is a space shooter with a turn-based battle system. So I just want to make sure that this works properly here. So what we're going to do is start programming the logic that handles our combatants here. So we have our player hero and we have a combatant. We'll put all the logic for the combatants, so I'll just move it out of the way of the chat so you can see what's going on here. So any game object that can interact with combat needs to have this script. And we can just do this. Public integer HP current, public integer HP max. Okay, we can go public integer power, and that will affect the damage that they deal. Okay. Alright, let's see here. Public float move speed. Public float move. No. Shoot interval. This is how quickly they can repeat shooting. We'll go public. Let me see here. Is invincible. You know, that's to give the player some invincibility. Okay? Let's see here. Okay, that's basically all we need right now. Let's see here. Oh, you know what we need? Hold on. We need some movement behavior controls as well. Space. I don't mean outer space. Space in the heads-up display. Winslow Man, hey, good to see you. How many different games are you making at the moment? Feels like you have 5 to release. Actually, I think you're right. I have 4 that are about 95% complete. I'm finishing the soundtracks and then doing final testing and polishing on that. And so, usually I develop multiple games at a time, and you have to keep track of yourself personally. When you start feeling burnout on a project, your productivity drops off significantly. So I work on multiple projects, and usually I keep them pretty different from each other. So when I start feeling I'm getting burned out on a project, I just switch over to a different project for a couple days, and that really refreshes you. So you're still productive, you're creating, and you're working on your work. And then I just sort of decide, all right, I'm not burned out on my main project anymore. Now I can go back to that. If you don't do that, I think you get so burned out that you just step away from the project and you tend to lose interest in it. But every individual is different. I don't know if that approach would work for other people. That, and I always have... I have a lot of just creative, I suppose, energy in my brain just flowing out. And if I don't let that creative energy out somewhere, my brain's going to explode. So, let's see here. Float. Minimum X. And I'm kind of creating this in a way to where I can sort of reuse. Oh, that should be Z. Shouldn't. I'm going to call it Y. You know, just for my brain's sake, because I'm creating this game for. Look at me save my typing here. I'm gonna delete this much. Yeah, I saved myself some typing. I'm just being silly. I'm trying to create it in a way where I can reuse code by, you know, bringing it to other platforms to some extent. I look forward to others playing it. That does happen to me. Yeah, and you know, you've just got to stay focused and trust that there are people out there who will enjoy your game. And that's a motivating factor as well. Yeah, I felt like you would say that. It keeps it from being as boring too, I imagine. You know, as fun as it is, you know, playing games is fun. Making games is brutally difficult. It is so demanding. And when it becomes your job, when you have to do it for a living, you can get a lot of negativity attached to game development. Because we naturally we feel some negativity towards our work when, you know, it becomes more and more demanding. And when that's attached to something that you're passionate about, like games, you can put yourself in a very bad mental headspace. So it's important to find a way to stay positive, and this is my way of staying positive about game development. Once I start feeling that I'm going to get burned out on a project, this is how I stay positive about it. You've spent 2,000 hours plus working on certain custom maps for a game. It gets demotivating since I'm not making my own game, but modded content for others. Now that I'm making my own, I don't think I can get demotivated. That's great that you now have all of that experience and you can make your own stuff, and now it's for what you want, you know, and it's for your project, and that's great. You know, and make sure to keep sharing your stuff in Discord. You know, it's always great to see that stuff. Okay, and you know, you need some basic functions like this: public void accept damage. You know, and let's see. This is an imprecise way to do this. I would normally use invokes, but I'm creating this game in a way that I can reuse a lot of the logic and code in other game engines. So I'm developing this not necessarily as a Unity game, but a potential multi-platform game that's going to be using more different SDKs. So I'm going to say stun time, and this is what's going to cause them to be stunned, which means they will not move and they will not shoot. Okay. So I'm going to accept damage, integer in, damage, and then you want basic logic, you know, like this. HP current minus, oh wait, if HP current is greater than 0, go ahead and just grab that there. This track is, actually I really liked creating this track, Sunset Vegas. I really liked that. I've only done 4 tracks so far for Galaxy Drifter. There's going to be 15 tape cassettes in total that you can find. Well, you always start out with 1, so there's 14 different tracks on top of it, so 15 different tracks for Galaxy Drifter. And then I'm going to write, you know, Starformers will have its own soundtrack as well. It's not really going to share soundtrack with Galaxy Drifter. You know, I don't want to waste the opportunity to create more music. You know, gaining your experience, you know, when you do the modding and when you do fan games and things like that, it's absolutely valuable experience, you know. So it's definitely something you can't, you know, begrudge, because you benefit from it as well. Just going to save myself a little bit of time in here. And if it's less than 1, okay. And then we'll just go like this. But that one doesn't need to be public. You don't need to keep it public. You know, when you're defeated, you don't have to make it public. Okay. Go ahead and copy. Perform the defeat. So this is a programming philosophy called stub and driver. I haven't created the logic yet, so this is just a stub. It's referencing a function, and you know, you have a driver here. The logic isn't there yet, but you're putting placeholder logic in there. It's a stub and driver. It's something I learned in the education system in Australia. I did what do I have? Do I Cert 4 diploma in software development. My software development course, you sort of learn these techniques. It saves you time during development. You don't have to do the logic right now. Like, just for now, you know, you put placeholder logic, and then you'll come back later, just for now, you know. But I'm not actually going to destroy these combatants. I'm going to deactivate them, so I'm not constantly creating new objects, as that results in memory leaks and problems. I use object pools. So I'm just going to say deactivate self. My dog seems to be barking at something. And then we'll make these public so that other game logic can refer to it as well. And public reactivate self, like that. So we want to take that logic out now, and then we're going to have a driver point to another stub and driver. I don't know why I just did that. That's funny. Okay, game object dot set active. Yeah. So the basic logic for reactivating, the most basic thing that you want to make sure is in there, is that you reset the HP current to HP max. And just on a basic level, I'm just gonna say, 100 will be the base level. I love seeing numbers pop out. Seeing numbers pop out of people in an RPG I like it. I like seeing numbers pop out. Okay. And the most basic thing you want to do when you're reactivating is you want your HP current to equal your HP max, of course. Let's see, and you want your stun time to equal 0. So stun time is equal to 0. Okay, great. So I'm going to create some logic now. So, star former enemy AI. And of course you want the enemy AI to reference the combatant, so we'll go ahead and say public star former combatant. There we go, so we can reference all the logic in there. I'm going to save myself just a little bit of timing. I'm just going to copy that. And I'm going to paste that in there as well. You want our gameplay manager here now. I'm not sure what my dog is barking at. There's probably a cockatoo on my front door, tearing apart my front door, trying to get inside. It's Australia, what are you going to do? Winston, what's the aim of the space game? So you're talking about Galaxy Drifter? Galaxy Drifter, the overall goal is to get a high score. In terms of the days that you survived, that's really what it's all about, really. And the better your management is, the longer you survive and you spend more time in space. But I don't want to make it sound clinical, because with my games I try to focus on the experience. Like the reward of the game should be the experience of playing the game itself, and that's why I put so much effort into the mini games that are there, is that you get to enjoy the mini games and you get to listen to music that you think sounds cool. So that is the inherent reward of playing it. And the sort of the loose overall goal is to survive as long as possible to get a pretty good score, I create my games with a philosophy that, isn't mainstream, so it's kind of difficult to explain when you say, like, oh, you do all this and do all that, and it's like you're on an online leaderboard, But my games are less clinical than that, and I try to approach things from a more organic approach, and my games generally tend to be about the core experience itself. Whereas this one, this is more of an RPG. I'm considering putting 2 modes in here. I'm considering making an RPG mode, an arcade mode that's a little bit more about a high score in this game, in Starformers, and then an adventure mode where it's more about a long-term RPG and you're developing your stats and all that stuff. Okay, so we have our player. He's got our logic here. Where did I... That's a Galaxy Drift core, which we don't need anymore, so let's go ahead and do that. Main camera, directional light, UI camera, space. So if I just go my space backdrop really quick for right, go like that. I'm just going to go like this, gameplay. I'm going to put this guy up top, but then when I add objects, it's going to get kicked down the list, so don't even stress about it. Alright, gameplay manager. Public, player, Great, okay. Hey, Mabab, good to see you. Let's see, it looks like we're getting a lot of... Are you okay there? Are you having a stroke? Is this a meme? I don't understand what's happening here. So we're just gonna go ahead and let's see. Let's see, how do you fix this here? Are you okay there? Mabu? Is your keyboard okay? Okay. Alright. Let us know if you're having a stroke. Just expelled evil all over the stream. Well, you don't know. You never know with people, because sometimes my phone freaks out and it pushes stuff on the keyboard, and there's nothing you can do about it except turn the screen on and off. Sometimes my keyboard gets stuck because the gel membrane inside gets stuck, so you never know. You always have to give people the benefit of a doubt. Or he could be having a stroke, and it's like, what are you gonna do? Be mean to somebody having a stroke? I'll give Jerrel a stroke if he releases another Silver Falls game. Look, I want to focus on these because with Silver Falls, I can't really make those games like big and bombastic and loud, because that's not what Silver Falls is. That is counter to what Silver Falls is, and Silver Falls is quite understated, and it's really about these character stories and these character journeys, and you get to share that with them. And if I were to make a huge, loud, bombastic Silver Falls game, it would go against the identity of the series. And the problem is that to get content creators online to even look at your game, they're not interested in understated, quiet games. They don't want nuanced storytelling. They just want something loud and interesting and bombastic, because that's the stuff that looks good on their channel. It's content that is engaging and interesting and loud, and that's stuff that the algorithm favors. The algorithm will never, ever take any interest in Silver Falls, because Silver Falls doesn't cater. It doesn't pander to the algorithm, which puts me in a tough spot, because it means that I have to make other games that will earn more money than Silver Falls, because that's just how the algorithm works, So, and I'm not pandering to the algorithm by making these games. I'm focusing on games that, content creators online, they're much more likely to cover a game like this. All right. And plus, Silver Falls games are kind of complicated, and when you're making games for legacy consoles, and a lot of these platforms, I've just set up SDKs, so I have not even shipped a title on, like, say for example, the TurboGrafx 16, I've never shipped a game on there. The Atari Lynx, the Game Gear, I've never shipped a game on those, and I want to make games for those, but I can't just go and make a Silver Falls game for those, because Silver Falls games are so complicated. But making a game like this, my next couple games, Galaxy Drifter and Starformers, I've created these concepts specifically because I know that I can bring these to platforms like the Game Gear, the Lynx, TurboGrafx 16, Game Boy Advance, Super Nintendo Genesis, N64, Jaguar, Saturn. I can make this on those consoles, even if I have minimal knowledge using the software development kit. So that's why I've created these game concepts. So it's a way for me to learn and develop and improve while actually making games and then getting them out to you guys. And it's like, I'm so excited to bring these games out to you guys, because I know a lot of you out there, well, maybe not a lot, but I know that some of you out there have flash cartridges for these old consoles, and I know how exciting it is to get a new game to play on your old console, and that's why I'm doing this, because it's just so fun, it's so cool. And you guys being able to put it on your flash cartridges, I think that's so exciting, just having a new game to play, I think is very fun. I should make some coffee for myself as well. Mine's getting a little cold. I'm going to keep drinking it, and then I'm going to go and make a new one. Silver Falls on the Sega Pico. What's that one? Is that the educational one? The Sega Pico? Would love to play your RPG on DS or GBC. It'd be very easy to make RPGs for the Game Boy because of GB Studio. That's so brilliant. It's so matured, and it's so well supported, and it's because there's a huge community online for it. There's so many people using GB Studio. There's people are contributing to that development of that, and that's going to keep improving and getting better. So the GB scene, I think long term, that's going to stick around for decades. People are going to keep making more. That scene's going to keep getting more, and that's great. Hey, Indrajeet, good to see you. But it's part of the reason why I'm not investing as much time into making Game Boy games is because there's already so much support for that. I'm hoping I can help bring some attention to other platforms that aren't getting as much attention. I really like developing for the Pokemon Mini. The people that are developing that, they're brilliant. They were so helpful to me, and because of those people, I can make Pokemon mini games very fast now. And I have noticed more people showing an interest and getting engaged with the community there and asking about developing games for Mini. So I'm just hoping by creating games for more consoles, that's going to tell people, hey, you can make games for this console too. Just go, look up the SDK, install it, join the community, ask for help, contribute, and make your games, and we'll build the community. That's why I'm looking, well, part of the reason why I'm looking into other platforms that don't have as much support right now. Pico was your first console. That's awesome. I'm going to have to look that up. What is that? That's not the educational one, is it? Sega Pico. It is the educational one. Rad. That's rad. Cool. That would be cool homebrew. Can someone make Leapfrog games? You guys can make Leapfrog games, right? A Super Horror Silver Falls game would be cool. Feel that would be the main way for it to get sales. I really want to make Super Nintendo games, but right now that's one of the absolute slowest platforms to me to develop on, so I haven't worked on that. I'm getting a feel for what you guys want, what you guys have. I want to make games for hardware that you guys have, so I'm running polls, I'm asking around, I'm asking in the Discord, and the next few concepts that will be working on specifically are games that I can bring to legacy consoles quickly. Okay, so what was I doing here? Let's see. Alright, so let's go ahead and get some data in here now. So Game Manager is going to store our important stuff, our important details. I'm going to do this though. So I store all the information in something called a savable data, and that means I can obviously just write that to a save file. A serialized object, okay. So anything related to the core gameplay that needs to be saved will go in here. Let's go ahead and define our savable data now. Public integer. Let's see, distance to next. I do need a new keyboard because I've worn this one out with so much coding. I code pretty intensely. It's kind of like when I'm really up to speed and when I'm not doing anything else, I'm just focused. It kind of looks like Yagami Light, where I'm just like going at top speed, and I've worn the keyboard out. Keys are getting stuck. Winslow, and I understand that really loved Silver Falls on Game Boy, was probably my favorite in the series. It's so cool that that game has ended up a lot of people's favorite, and I'm really excited about that because for me that was basically like a dream project for me. I grew up playing Game Boy, right? I played Pokemon and Zelda, with all of you guys, and so being able to make Galaxy Bound Curse for me was a massive sense of wish fulfillment. But I wanted it to not just feel like, oh, it's another Game Boy game. I wanted it to feel like it was made for us. We all grew up playing Game Boy, but then we're all adults now. We've grown up, and so our perspective of the world is a little different. We have a different perspective of the world, so I wanted to use the Game Boy as a framing device, and it's similar to what I did with Silver Falls Undertakers as well, where Undertakers is framed as, oh, it's a cute little Atari game, and then you get caught off guard by the story and the visceral horror of Undertakers because it really restricts itself to the visual style and the visual constraints, of an Atari-style game. And I feel like that's why Undertakers, for me, I think that's the game that does the best job of communicating what the character is experiencing, because in Undertakers, Bull is just a kid. And many of us were very young when we first played Atari, so we're already, we can relate to that framing device. And to see, you know, a man who's been ripped in half and he's dragging himself across the ground and his intestines are trailing behind him, when you see that in an Atari game, when you expect the game to be cute, is very, I think it's very effective in terms of visual storytelling, and it lets you know how shocking that moment is to the protagonist as well. And I wanted to, in that way, use the Game Boy format as a storytelling device and a framing device for Galaxy Bound Curse. And because we're all grown up, like, we've all been to bars, we've all had, you know, a drink, so we know what it's like, oh, hanging out with my buddies. It's, to me, it's such a visual interest. It's an interesting juxtaposition of taking something that is innocent, like the Game Boy Color, because we all enjoyed that as kids. To me, it's interesting to take that and juxtapose that next to a scene of a bunch of adults just drinking at a bar and celebrating their friend having a kid. It's taking these two things from two different points of our lives and bringing it together, and that was what I was hoping would appeal to people with Galaxy Bound Curse. For me, that's why I like it so much, and I'm just so grateful that people enjoy Galaxy Bound Curse. I need to remake that game because I made it with an older version of GB Studio, which resulted in the game having some glitches in there. And there's nothing I can do about that until waiting for them to launch newer versions of GB Studio. There are new versions of GB Studio that are significantly improved, so I have to remake the game, and I'll do that when I have time. I don't really have time at the moment. I want to optimize the game so I can put it on cartridges as well. Right now it's about 4 megabytes because of all the battle logic. All the characters have their own stats and mechanics, and you know, the weapons can be leveled up. And it was done in a way that couldn't have reused code using that older version of GB Studio, which means that I can't fit the game on a cartridge. But I'm hoping I can optimize it and then I can get that on a cartridge for you guys. I hope you find the glitches that lets you finish the game. A Silver Falls game with N64 graphics released on a Switch eShop. An educational Silver Falls game. That would be fun. Oh man, I hadn't really thought about that, but I think an educational Silver Falls game would be really fun. Animele update is getting close, I think. I want to bring Animele to the Switch. I don't really have an incentive to work on it on Android because it's going to take a significant amount of work, and I'm not really earning money on mobile platforms anymore because I refuse to lean into the monetization culture of mobile devices. You must bend the knee and you must compromise your morals to make money on the mobile platform. That's just how it is, and I refuse to do that. So I don't make money with Animele on mobile platforms. So I'm just going to focus on bringing Animele to I'll bring it to Steam and N64. Okay, so let's go like this. Public integer player HP current. Oops. Player HP. Random access memory. Oh, put current in there. Yeah. Just visually, just for me, I'm just going to split these up here. You remember that? When I tell you about something that prevented progress, you fix it and send me a new ROM version, and then we repeated that until I was able to get to the end of GBC. Yeah, so everyone, Elkin Fencer really helped me get the game more stable through testing. He would play it and find glitches, then I would fix it, send it back and forth. So he was absolutely instrumental in helping me improve Galaxy Bound Curse. So if you enjoy Galaxy Bound Curse, please, a bit of applause for Elkin Fencer 10. I don't know where the first 9 went, but he's number 10 in the Elkin Fencer line. And that's the kind of community that I want to build with you guys, because I don't ever want to be a content creator because you're focusing on just... Content creation is focusing on entertainment, and you have to submit to the algorithm. You just have to. You have to do what the algorithm says. You're basically doing what a machine tells you to. And it's how much of a whore do you want to be in order to earn money? And it's an incredible skill to be able to entertain people and earn money by being a content creator, but that's not something that I ever want to do. And so I have to keep thinking about that and understanding that is I'm not going to bend the knee to what the algorithm wants. I'm not going to change my approach and change my identity because of what the algorithm wants. And you need to be really careful because the system is designed to manipulate you psychologically into, oh no, my views are dropping, I better do this, oh, I better get my thumbnails to look like that. It's a dangerous and slippery slope, and I really admire people who can be successful content creators, but it's not for me. I'm not an online celebrity, I'm not, this big fancy famous person, I'm just doing my day job. And so the relationship that I want to have with you guys is, I just want to make games for you guys. When it comes to the homebrew stuff, I want to be able to send it out to you, and you guys can say, oh, hey, I ran into a problem here at this spot. I can fix it, and then I can upload the improved ROM, and that's kind of what I want to do. All right, so I'm gonna put some comments in here. I'm gonna say base stats. You're gonna level up. Base stats. We're not really working on Silver Falls today. I'm gonna go back to the space music. Level up. So I'm going to have it to where you can level up the stats individually. I'm just going to save myself a little typing by copying that. Player HP. Player level. HP. Player level. RAM. Okay. Whoa, what have I done there? What I've done there? I done taught myself a set of brackets, I did. Okay. Power. Why did I player move speed? What I done there? Play clear. Let's copy that. Okay. Wow. Inventory storage. Let's see. Player. Allies max, so the max number of allies you can have. Let me think here. I try to use my future sight, and I try to predict where I may want to expand certain game concepts, and I try to leave that stuff in there ahead of time. When it comes to save data, you do not want to F around. Because if you roll out a version of a game and then you think, oh, in an update out, I want to add this stuff, and you realize you don't have the infrastructure in the save data, you're going to corrupt your player's save data if you try to add stuff later on, which is why I try to use future sight, and I try to predict any features I want to include in the future. I'll come back to that later. Okay, let's see here. Now we're going to okay, so we need recruitables, right? Here we go. Star former party member. Okay. Actually, this is the wrong naming convention. I've used the wrong naming convention. In my games, I use a naming convention called member in party. And by using that naming convention, it makes it very clear that this logic is very strictly describing a member that is currently in your party. So, in party. I tried to save myself some typing and I failed. Okay. This is just logical clarity for me. So public integer experience wants in French would be pronounced want. Because I'm a fancy, sophisticated man. I don't know why it's so dumb. Okay, public integer, level current. Okay. And if there's any other logic I wanted to give these party members, but for now, I don't want that much micromanaging. I'll just give them, I'm going to give them this, public integer equipped item. I don't have plans for this, but just in case I want to expand it to where you can give the party members items, I'll do this, equipped item level. Okay, so star former member in party. Let's go to our savable data, and we'll go like this. Public star former member in party equals new star former member in part. My equals didn't pop out there. Let's just say you can have a maximum of 40 party members, you know. Just a little bit of, oops, members in party, okay. Great. Now we have our savable data. I'm just trying to think, what else do I need here right now? Oh! Okay. I'll go like this. Progress. Public integer. What word am I looking for here? Bounties. Completed. And public integer. Pilot rank. There we go. That's basically everything I need. And now, if we have a public savable data, save data, and then we have public integer save slot. And now we'll just go like this. Public savable data, get current save file. Then we'll go like this. Return save data. Oops. Save slot. Okay. And we'll go like this. Save data equals new savable data. Just say there's 6 save slots. That's an RPG. Let's give them 8. 8 save slots, 4-hour space RPG. Felt super good to be able to help contribute to Silver Falls in a meaningful way. All of you guys contribute, you know, you all make a difference, especially when you let me know that you actually enjoy the game. That's a huge contribution. When you reach out and share the games with other people, when you ask content creators to take a look at Silver Falls, that's a huge help because I can't actually do that step. If I ever reach out to somebody and ask them to take a look at Silver Falls, they just get annoyed and they ignore me. And that's just how it is because content creators are constantly getting hundreds of people, you know, every week telling them to take a look at their game. And unless you can pay them to take a look at your game, what incentive do they have to look at your game, you know? I get kind of bummed when a video doesn't get views, but not enough to actually change what I'm doing. That's just content creation. It's tough, you know. Hammerfist, hey! How's it going? It's almost 9 p.m. Might as well put on a brew. What's up, folks? Good to see you. Please enjoy your brew. We're making a game. So the game that I'm working on, Hammer Brew, great to see you. This is a game that mashes 2 of my favorite genres. It is a top-down space shooter with a turn-based RPG battle system. There's a significant amount of recruiting party members in terms of space creatures called starformers. And it is basically just like a very, very chill, very relaxing game where you manage your ship. And instead of directly controlling the ship in a shooting gameplay, it's RPG battles. Some D-Back downvoted the video I posted this morning. It's rude. Why? You know? Why do that? Unless someone's talking about, like, you know, oh man, you know, Hitler did nothing wrong. That's when you should downvote a video, you know. It's dumb. I hope releasing a game doesn't make me demotivated. That's the only thing I feel can stop me now. You're going to have to build some internal strength, and that's all it comes down to, because you're not going to get that from anywhere else. you need internal toughness, because when you launch your game, you can have 100 people say, hey, I enjoy this, you know, and then you're going to have one person that says it's the worst thing they've ever played, and they want to, you know, kill themselves so that they don't have to think about how they played your game, and they hate it so much. And it's just going to happen. That's just how the internet is, because it's the internet, man. It's just you got to roll with the punches. It's not a big deal. Okay, so we have that. So we can get our save slot. So now when we need to access any kind of information, we'll just ask, hey, let's give me that. All right. So we have our player hero. Then we want public void refresh stats from player levels. Okay. So, what this does is it gets the players, this accesses the player, and then it updates the player's stats based on their levels, because we have our savable data, don't we? And of course, we want to make sure that we reference the player here. Let's just vibe for a second. I'm going to hit run, and we should see this sort of the background animating a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Oh, gee, that's nice, isn't it? But I want it rotating a bit like that. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we can do here. Sorry, I want to go back to the space music. Alright, so we'll do our space backdrop. Let's make this a little faster. And it was moving. Let me think about how it was moving. What if I did? Let's just click that for a second. I like how this looks so far. Hey, thanks, I appreciate that, you know? Great. Well, I want the background moving like this, so let's go ahead and... If I rotate this 90 degrees, I think it's going to look like how I want. I might have to parent this, actually. Let's just run it and see. I can handle people shitting on my game, but what I'm talking about is having absolutely no supporters or haters, just nobody that sees the game and it gets lost in Steam's library. That is tough. That's tough, you know? It's difficult to build an audience. It's just going to take time. And you just need... You need to give people a reason to look at your game, you know? It is tough, but hang in there. No matter what happens, you've made a great accomplishment, that you've made something that you believe in, and it's something you care about. So let's make the resolution just like a little higher, because I want this to be a different vibe from Galaxy Drifter a bit. There we go. All right, I am feeling this. Okay, great. It's totally tough, though. I know the feel. Yeah, spending all this time only for 0 people to buy it. You hang in there. You've got it. A lot of it comes down to being able to market and advertise and share with people. You have to, at some point, like, I'm just accepting the truth of this just now, is you have to, at some point, be some kind of content creator in a way to where you're creating videos to share your game, to tell people about it, because that's how you get people to find out about your game. Like, you need to figure out a good organic way for people to find out about your game and for you to tell them about it. I'm still learning. I think I'm not that good at it, so it is something that I'm working on improving. And for me, I'm unwilling to bend the knee to the algorithm. I refuse to compromise my morals and my beliefs to appeal to the algorithm. So I think I'm always going to be behind when it comes to spreading the word and getting people to take a look at my games. I've just accepted that I will always be behind in that way. And I'm fine with that. I've accepted it. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. So, alright. I need reusable projectiles. Let me think if I've recently created some reusable projectiles for something here. I need to look into my my other project files, so let me go ahead and just have a look really quick. Let me check my other projects. I think I can save myself some time. I created something that has a object pooling for projectiles, so let me go ahead and grab that now. Projectile pool. Alright, so I'm gonna borrow some stuff from StarVX. StarVX framework. I'm gonna borrow this. This is why I create frameworks. I never just create a game, I create a framework. And that allows me to reuse logic from one project to another if it's something that there's no point in creating it multiple times. So let me go ahead and just borrow something from another project I was working on. This is StarVX framework. This should let me create projectiles that I can reuse over and over again. This marketing thing just makes me super depressed. It's tough. It's so tough. It is a necessary and vital part of the game development process, unfortunately. That's just how it is. But hey, man, there's other things in life to be depressed about, you know? So I would say don't worry about it, you know? You just gotta go with the flow, you gotta let your hair down, you gotta go where the wind takes you, man, and don't stress about it. What happens, happens. My most popular video is a custom map I made for a game. It has 12k views. Nice done, good work. I need to build up hype before releasing the game with trailers and stuff. Yeah, you know, that's the right approach, is you just gotta get people excited for the game, launch it, and then hope that people actually buy it, hope they talk about it with word of mouth and share the game. And what happens, happens. I put a link to my Silver Falls review playlist on just about every video, hoping someone will sidetrack one of the games. I really appreciate that. Thanks so much. The community absolutely would not be what it is without you. In no way. Okay. Okay. Alignment. I need to... So I've borrowed some things from a different game. Let me go ahead and just do a little bit of work here. I just need to make it compatible now. I'm using parts from a different game framework. Oh, Okay, we'll go player, enemy, neutral. Okay. Well then. Okay, hitbox. I'm actually going to also borrow the hitbox logic from StarVX. Here we go. Let me just go ahead and open up this bad boy. You know what? I'm thinking of the way that will save me the most amount of time. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to pasta it. I'm just going to rename it. Copy pasta. Instead of StarVX, I'll make that Why did I write Stargamer? I was talking while typing, and I named it Stargamer instead of Starformer. Star. All right, great. Great. Okay, so I'm gonna borrow some more logic from a previous game. It's gonna save me some time. Projectile. And I explicitly created this logic knowing that I could reuse it in other games. So star former projectile. Let's go ahead and open that as well. So that saved me a little bit of time. Oh. Okay. Great. Great. Go ahead and clear that. What else do we got? Hitbox. Okay. Clear and clear. Oops. My goodness. Starformer. Okay, great. That has saved me a bit of time. So let's just go ahead and put a little bit of logic in here right now. So let's see the logic of the player shooting out a projectile. So I want to create a projectile pool. Projectile pool. I'll just say one, you know. So there's going to be a couple different projectiles that the player can use. And we'll use the pool. Get the pool. And so this is the pool. You need a manager, and then you need the pools go inside the manager, don't they? Create empty projectile pool. One. All right, I'm just going to create empty projectile. Let's say like bullet one. All right, let's listen to some Silver Falls for a while. Let me know if the music gets too loud at any point. Hey, Ramesses, it's good to see you. Hello to Brazil. You could make the greatest game or demo and still get no eyes on it without successful marketing. And marketing is tough. And these days, you have to bend the knee to the algorithm. It's, you know, I would suggest making a viable, polished slice of the game to find the fun and to show it off to others. That's absolutely part of it. You really need that. I hate the fact that we are beholden to YouTubers and some of the shallowness that comes with content distribution. You're absolutely right, 100%, but there's nothing we can do about it. You either stand your ground and stand by your morals and you take the hit and you lose the opportunity to further earn revenue through increasing your audience, or you compromise what you believe in and you'll work within the confines of the system. And I'm going to stand my ground, and I'm going to find my own way forward. I'll find my own path. I'm going to conduct my business the way that I believe is right and just, even if it means that I get significantly less sales. I'm going to do things my way. I'm not going to let a machine tell me what to do. Script Kitty, hey, great to see you. Thanks for coming and hang out. I love watching your streams. Have you ever tried making a game in a language like BASIC? I'd love to see what you'd make with limitations. Someone in the Discord sent me, well, not me directly, they shared stuff that they had made on the 3DS with Smile Basic, and that looked really cool. I love working in all kinds of different environments. I've worked on Arduino, working on the Pokemon Mini. I have not worked in BASIC yet. When I have time, I would like to. Because it's fun, you know. I would like to see what I can come up with. I'm trying to create a game based on BombJack. Oh, cool. In Java with libgdx. Hopefully I can release it on VCS this year. Hey, that's awesome. If you want, share your progress. You can chat about it. You can hang out with us on the Discord. That'd be great. And you know, like, talking about your games is part of the fun and the excitement of it. I feel that we're in a point in our industry and culture where game development should not be taking place behind closed doors. It should be a shared activity, and I think that's a huge part of the fun, is the process of making games. We can share it now. We can talk about it. So I think we should do that more. Okay, so we're just going to make a placeholder fella here. Graphics. Let's just put a ball in there. This is for now. Sphere. This theme music from Make Out Miracle Mania for the DS makes me laugh. I cannot believe that the most recent Silver Falls game to come out is a kissing simulator. I'm gonna let that simmer for a bit before I launch another Silver Falls game, just so for a little while we can say the latest Silver Falls game to launch is a kissing simulator. Okay. Sphere Collider is trigger. We're going to give this projectile. Okay, platformer, the starformer projectile, and hitbox. Starformer hitbox. Great. Starformer projectile. Starformer projectile. I just came here to say hi. Hey, good to see you, Xenoidos. Thanks for coming to say hi. We're hanging out. I'm making a game that is a top-down shooter with a turn-based RPG battle system. So it's I was trying to come up with just a simple puzzle game that I could make on legacy platforms, and it turned into this. And I was having so much fun coming up with the ideas. And I thought, how can I not make this at this point? It would be too fun of a concept to let go to waste. So just for 5 damage. No stun time. This I like this kind of balance because you can make moves that are stronger but they don't have stun time, and then you can have moves that maybe don't do that much damage but they stun the enemy a little bit. I'll say that it breaks on contact as well, and the alignment is player. So prefab. Okay. Weapons. Okay, so in our projectile pool, this is like, I'm going super fast here. Let's go like that. We're gonna make so these are all the bullets that can exist. Let's put a pool. Starface projectile pool manager. Okay, great. All right. Oh, I don't want a pool manager, I just want the pool. Hold on. What have I done here? Oh. I don't need to do that. I go like this. For now, we go like that. Okay. Projectile name, let's just call this weak. No, let's call it Laser 1. We're going to hit that padlock button there. Select all of our bullets. Just update that Starface projectile. Okay, Star Former projectile. Projectile pool. Okay, and then we go back to projectile manager. Okay, great. I had to do some adjusting because I've used code from a game that a different game I'm working on. Great, and we should be able to just drag that fellow right on up in there. So we have 16 bullets. So I'm gonna run it. I wonder if I put the logic in there to deactivate the bullets from the word go. Okay, I haven't done that. Okay, so movement. If I type 1 in there, are they gonna move forward? Okay, cool. So let's go 30. 50. That's so slow. Why did it jitter like? Was it just the computer? Yeah. Okay. We'll go 150. Apply that. Manually deactivate all of these bullets. We'll get some... let's get a little bit of logic in here now. So that logic, what I'm trying to do now is get the player to just shoot bullets intermittently based on his stat that says the shoot interval. Let's make that 3. You know, that'll be the base. Kid Robot, hello. What coffee are we drinking tonight? This is a very fine blend of 2 different coffees that I don't remember. One coffee was getting low, so I bought another one, and then I emptied it into the first jar, and they're kind of mixed up a little bit. I call it the suicide bomber. I think it's some Folgers, 43 or Folgers 69 or something. I don't super remember. Ramesses, I will soon release a video. I need to polish some animations and some enemies and the game's physics, since I do everything from scratch without any physics framework. Wow, congratulations to you, that's tough. In reality, I have no intention of working with games. I'm just passionate about the industry and do it as a hobby. That's an excellent way to enjoy it still. You get to make stuff, that's fun, you get to enjoy doing things. Are the Unity fees really as bad as they say they are? I don't earn $1 million or whatever it is, so I'm not affected by that, sort of the changes. You'll have to ask developers that earn like $1 million or whatever it is. When naming files and objects and the like, I always try and give them silly names. It's probably not that great for readability, but it reminds me that computers still have humanity. That's great. That's fantastic. And you know what? At the end of the day, you're making the game. If you're working solo, it doesn't matter. As long as it makes sense to you, hey, have fun with it. If you're working with a team, things are a little different. When I'm in a situation where the engine just is not doing what it's supposed to do, and I know that it's supposed to do, and it's not working, I can't figure out, I'm going to share, this is a professional level technique. I've been making games. I launched my first game in like 2003, and I actually sold copies of it at my high school. So that's when I launched my first game. So I have decades of experience. This is something you learn from decades of experience. If your game is not working, and the engine is not behaving what it's supposed to, here's what you do. You go like this, debug.log, and you go like this. Okay, you go like that. I'm not going to read it out loud, but you guys can see that on screen, right? And then usually that's what makes your game work. And so when you run your game, your code that wasn't working before, whether it's your fault or whether it's the engine's fault, usually you do that, and then it starts working. And that's professional advice. This is just something you learn from working in the industry for a long time. I really hope that nobody tries to decompile some of the games that I've launched, because a lot of my games have comments that are like that, where it's like, why... I have a lot of games with comments like that. And for some reason they make the game work. I don't know why they make the game work. It's just how it is, Why does the sun shine, It's just how it is. Please God help us. Pachamama and Anubis, Quetzal, anyone. No, I'm not lying. I do have, in some of my games that I've shipped, I do have comments where I'm begging God to help to make something work, and it worked. So you know what? I probably shouldn't show this to you. I think I have a text file. Oh, I do. I have text files that are just sitting on my desktop that are me venting about Unity and how broken it is. I'm not going to show you that. It's negative and not helpful to anyone. But I do. Sometimes I'll stumble across a text file and I'll say, why do I have a text file here that says FU Unity? And I'll open it and go, oh, that's right. That tracks. That makes sense now. As someone who knows reverse engineering, DW comments are removed during compilation as the machine code doesn't need comments to run. But here's the thing. In Unity, the comments, things that are commented out stay in there, and your debug code actually does stay in there. And there's certain platforms where your game will run worse. Even though it's not supposed to keep the debug code, I know for a fact there are certain platforms that keep the debug code and they keep the comments. Because you can decompile Unity games made for PC, and you can find scripts, and you can find the comments still in there. So, that's... I don't know why it's like that. It's weird. So can we get that? Can we get that game? Oh, it's weird. It's really weird because I have, just as a test, I've decompiled Unity games and I found like you see the source code and you see that in there. I don't know why. I was working on 3DS and I didn't realize that when you work with Unity 3DS, it keeps your debug code. You think that it will strip out the debug code on compilation, but any debug code that you have in there actually causes massive memory leaks on the 3DS. So you have to manually go through and remove all of your debug code. You have to comment it out. You cannot leave it in there. Janice just finished working for today on my graduation project. It's a real headache for real. Hey, Keek, good to see you. What's your graduation project? So what I'm going to do now is just create the logic for the player to actually shoot. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do this. Public integer current equipped weapon. So you can equip one weapon at a time. And we go ahead and let's get access to that pool there. Let's listen to some chill Silver Falls music here. Let me know if the music's too loud or too quiet or anything. Thanks. Unity 3DS, that was a fever dream of a thing that existed. The fact that it functioned at all is already this huge, brilliant, like, gift from God. The fact that Unity works at all, because without it, I would not have been able to make Unity games. But it was broken. It was so broken. And we're past that now. You guys, I learned something. I learned something last night because I couldn't sleep. And when I can't sleep, I look up game development stuff. And I found something, and I want to share it with you because I think some of you can benefit from it. And I don't know if you guys already know this. Some of you may already know this. Not default. What am I doing? What are you doing, man? Godot. There is a build of Godot for making PSP games. So type in Godot PSP for any Godot users out there. You can deploy, you can make 3D and 2D versions, 3D and 2D games for PSP. That is right. The Sony PSP. If you have experience working with Godot, you can make a PSP game. I don't know what this is. I clicked on that last night. I think this is, yeah, just the GitHub for it. So, this is so cool. And this is what happens when I can't sleep at night. I just try and find development environments for different consoles, and I want to share this all with you guys. Some of you may benefit from this because some of you may be Godot users. So, comment if you use Godot. Who in the comments, who in the chat uses Godot? I think this is so cool. I don't use Godot. I actually use GameMaker 8 to make my PSP games because it's very fast to work in that, but I cannot make 3D games. So if I wanted to make a 3D game for the PSP, I would use Godot. I would learn Godot, and I would use it because this looks cool as hell. And if people want me to do like a survival horror game on the PSP, I would learn Godot and I would make a survival horror game. But again, you don't earn money from homebrew games like this. So it'd be very difficult for me to do that. But if anyone out there wants to create, I would say if you're going to make a 2D game, just use GameMaker 8 because it's extremely easy to use GameMaker 8 and deploy to the PSP. If you want to make a 3D game, absolutely use Godot. But if you're already good at Godot, here it is. There we go. Oh, that's awesome. I don't really use game engines like Unity or Godot as they complicate things for me. Oh, but that's great for Godot users. Yeah, if you're a Godot user, we're getting more and more users. Arson, I'd be willing to try it. Keek, it's an attendance system that allows users to take their attendance by scanning QR code. Hey, that's a great project. Well done. Good for you. That's fantastic. For my senior project in high school, I made a zombie movie. It was bad. It was awful, but I got a bunch of teachers involved. I got some teachers to be survivors, some teachers to be zombies. I got a bunch of students involved. It was so much fun. We had a ton of fun. That was my senior project in high school. Kid Robot. If I use Godot, will it get me a date with Gal Gadot? Yes. It's in the notes. You have to read it. But the thing is, you actually have to launch. You have to launch at least one game using Godot. And that's to prevent, because some people will try to exploit and game the system. So you have to ship at least one title using Godot. And when you do that, you are secured one date with Gal Gadot. I haven't used Godot yet. I'm waiting until I'm ready for it, Keek, I was wondering, I was working on that. I'd probably encrypt the hell out of it for no reason. We all have our own personal style and our own quirks when it comes to development, We tend to we put our fingerprints on our work. And I'd say if you're working solo, leave your fingerprints on your work. That's what makes it interesting. If you're working with other developers, other programmers, and other engineers, you have to homogenize and simplify your work. That's how it is. So let's go ahead and perform our shooting logic, right? So I'm going to say public. Now let's go ahead and do this. Header. It's so cool hearing about what projects you guys are working on, whether it's your own personal thing or for education. It's so cool hearing about that. Header behavior. Public float. All right, so to start things out, this is just for now. I'm going just for now. Let's go ahead and do that. Attack is equal to your combatant dot. What did I call it? Shoot interval. Okay. All right. And this is a placeholder. I'll add logic in that. Later on, I'll take into account the players, if they have any kind of stats, like say for example, let's say this public float attack rate mod. So I use modifiers in my gaming logic. If I want to boost the players' attack speed, movement speed, I use mod, and that is short for modifier. So here's what I do, right? Let's just say I will invoke okay, but we current attack repeat rate multiplied by attack rate mod. Okay. And we want to make sure that we initialize that value as well. Righto. So we'll perform that. We'll get the pool manager to, hold on, before we do that, we got to get some logic in here. We need our combatant, and we need public transform shoot position. I don't care if this was a simple badge sensor thing for a gym closet. I'm running my closet like the Navy. I would like to be able to program and use near field communications and NFC. The stuff they use like in Skylanders. I would love to make at least like playing cards. Like I know that I could. There's services online where I know that I could get playing cards made because I've made playing cards before. So I would manufacture my own playing cards. I would put an NFC chip in there, and I would love to make games that use NFC chips. You know, I've had some ideas, but it requires money to manufacture and distribute that stuff. Okay. So let's go ahead, and we're going to attempt what we're doing is giving the player some AI so that he shoots automatically. I don't know why I did that. That was silly. Player perform. What's it called? Shoot. Activate. I gotta look at my pool manager here. Deploy projectile. So in projectile type. Okay, projectile. Okay, so we want deploy projectile. Deploy projectile. We are going to use our current equipped weapon. So let's go current equipped weapon of position and rotation, right? I'll scroll up so this makes a little more sense. So we need to specify the position, rotation, and the alignment. So I want to go to my combatant dot shoot position dot position combatant dot shoot position dot rotation, and the alignment is alignment dot player. But I should put the alignment here. I should do it this way. Combatant dot alignment. Oh, I don't have that in there yet. Public alignment. And the alignment is a value that I check to make sure that the player's bullets only affect the enemies, and vice versa, as the old saying goes. Okay. So, now what we want to do is we want to make sure that we don't do a repeat on this here. So we want to repeat, we want to do an invoke. We're not using a repeating invoke because we want to be able to change the interval at which it repeats. So we're going to cancel it. What am I doing here? I'm going to cancel the invoke so that only one invoke is active at a time. Okay. I love creative ideas like that stuff with the cards. Same reason I was interested in the Playdate, because of the weird crank control and the grayscale graphics. I can't wait to do my first Playdate game. I have been learning Lua. I've been learning Defold because I'm making games for KaiOS, which is a platform that is used around the world, just like a budget mobile devices. I'll be making games for those. And I've been learning Lua, so I want to make this game. I think this game may end up being my first Playdate game. Let's go back to space music. Okay, so I'm just going to run it. I'm going to see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen yet. I'm going to run it and just see if it works. Right? So we're going to run it. We'll see what it does. Okay, so I did not specify the point at which my projectiles will spawn. So let's go ahead and do that. Shoot position. Oh, shoot point. Maybe like there, something like that. Okay, I got my shoot position there, pool manager, and of course we didn't even reference the pool manager. Okay, let's go ahead and run it, and we'll wait and see what happens. I really want to use the Playdate crank for stuff. It's going to be so cool. I've got ideas, man. I got ideas. Okay. So the pool manager start next projectile. So what happened here? Object reference not set. Oops, I closed it. Hold on. Open it back up. The only thing that I can see that crank being used for is like fishing games. It's cool though. But there's plenty of ideas, you know. There's plenty of ideas you can come up with that. Imagine the game crashing the computer and ending the stream. I run my stream on a different machine, so that won't happen unless something happens on my other computer. Okay, so the hitbox has not been defined. So let's go ahead and fix that now. It says the hitbox.alignment. So what is going wrong here? The pool manager. The pool manager needs access to the hitbox. I've commented that out. Let's go ahead and not comment that anymore. Great idea, Woody! Alright, so it looks like our logic for the player attacking is now working. So that's pretty exciting. So that's some of the logic of the game done. And of course you can use that same logic so the enemies will shoot at you, etc., etc. Great, so we've got our logic working. So again, we'll use punch cards, so you enter the menu. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of work on the UI elements now. So I'll have the game menu in there and you can select your actions. Let's go ahead and do that now. Now, I want to not use up too much of the screen, you see, but I need to put my actions on screen. I'm trying to think of the best spot to put my menu actions, because the enemies will be on this side of the screen and the player will be on the other side of the screen, but the player, you need to see where your placement is, and you're going to have a bunch of allies with you as well that are called starformers. They're the creatures, the space creatures that you recruit. So actually, I think the best place to put the action menu would be the middle of the screen, because it would be the least intrusive. So let's go ahead and give that some thought, why don't we? Let's do a little bit of work on our UI here. So I might borrow actions here. Yeah, I'm going to borrow that. Okay, window, menu, main. And again, I'm developing this game keeping in mind that I want to be able to bring it to legacy platforms as well, and I want the experience to be mostly consistent all throughout. So let's go ahead and get the bottom of the screen there. Yeah, that lets you have visibility of your team and your enemies. Go ahead and open up that group. Okay, so we want our we need our action punch cards. See, I want to call them procedure punch cards. You can call them that. The thing is, it's not clear what that is, you know, so there has to be a degree of using a word that people may not be familiar with versus what you want. The Script Kitty BRB, gonna go figure out how to make Playdate games. Great. Let's hear back. Check in with the Discord. Hey, we can embark on our journey together for learning Playdate, because I haven't shipped anything on Playdate yet. I've just been learning Lua. I'm going to ship something on KaiOS first, which uses Lua, and then I'll use my knowledge from using Lua on that, and I'll bring that over to the Playdate. I want to make stuff with the crank. It's going to be really neat. It's so fun. Okay. Procedure card. Okay. I'm going to call that for now. It may be a little unclear to people what that is, so I'll consider changing it. Action pack. Yeah. Okay. Bomb. Shoot, what other actions do I need here? Script Kitty. Oh wait, I just had a great idea for the crank. A survival game where you have to keep your lamp lit with the hand crank, like one of those camping lanterns. Hey, that's fun. That's cool. And then of course, if you don't do that, your light dies down, doesn't it? See, good one. I told you, there's plenty of things you can do. There's plenty of ideas you can have. It's really when you have the hardware in hand and you're actually using and developing for the hardware. That's really when your ideas, will make themselves known. Doomarine, I'm thinking of weird stuff like a Mega Man game, but you can crank to charge a power shot. That's great. I like that idea. That's awesome. Exactly. That is what's so cool about innovative controllers. I had a soft spot for Wii and Wii U because of that. I think the Wii U controller will always be my favorite. What I was able to achieve with White Sided Sombra, I think I fulfilled my wish to create something interesting and unique on the Wii U. I met that. So I have no regrets. I would like to have made more games for the Wii U, but that's just how life turned out. Okay, I forgot what I was going to use for that. So let's go ahead and leave that there. I'm going to, let's see, I don't want the same cursor as Galaxy Drifter, but I'm just going to borrow it for now. Just for now. That's green by default. That's just how it is. Okay. Alright, so... Ooh, what have I done there? Okay, so we have our group main. Now I'm just going to define all the actions and all the stuff that I'm going to use. So we have our group main. Let's go ahead and dupe that now. We have our group, so we want our procedure cards. So procedure cards, you have to build up and collect these. These are one-time use only. You can only use them once. And they let you change the movement. So you see how your action here is your action.stationary. You can use the procedure cards to change the action to tell your ship to move certain ways. It uses a little bit of RAM. And I want, I want to put images in here as well. So let's see, image. Don't recast that. So I'm going to put a placeholder image in here as well. Let's go ahead and put a that's kind of looks like it's something, isn't it? Sunset Vegas, a little back to Francisco nightlife. Whoever said you needed to stop making Wii U games, the Wii U homebrew scene is cool, but is lacking games. So I do not have the time, nor do I have the incentive to learn a development environment for making homebrew games on the Wii U. I'm already making homebrew games for other platforms that are taking my time, and I'm an official Wii U registered developer, and I don't want to push my relationship with Nintendo by making homebrew games for a console which I'm an official developer for. So I really don't want to jeopardize that. Short of Nintendo coming to me and saying, it's fine if you want to make homebrew games, I'm not going to make homebrew games because I don't want to jeopardize my working relationship with Nintendo. And also, using homebrew stuff for Wii U is going to be slow and frustrating for me because I have official tools, and using the official tools I can make games very fast. but it is not part of our agreement with Nintendo that I can use those official tools to make homebrew games, so that's why I'm not making homebrew games. Yeah. It's already cool enough. Like, it's the coolest thing in the world that Nintendo lets me make homebrew games, and I'm only making homebrew games for platforms which I am not a registered developer for. That's why I can make Game Boy, Pokemon mini games, the original DS. You know, I was never an official developer for that, so I can use homebrew tools. I don't use the official Nintendo tools that got leaked. I only use, you know, the homebrew tools. But I want the image, you know, front and center. How many punch cards do I want to fit? It just depends on how many I want to fit on screen, you see. How many can I fit here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five different punch cards is fine. That's different movement options. This is fine. Up, down, a zigzag, lock on or follow. Lock on or follow? Lock on makes it seem like you are locking onto the target. So I'll try follow. There we go. Okay, great. So this is how you select your ship's movement. Okay, so that is, yeah, that's it for our procedure cards. Let's go ahead and dupe that. Actually, no, we'll do the main one. Again, just have nice stats there. So this will be our group. Oh, what do we need? Our action packs. Okay. And these are basically items that you can use during battle. They consume RAM, but they are items that do all the cool stuff. So I'll show you my notes. I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'll translate my notes into that here. Oopsie. MasterCar77, hey, Brennan Goldman, it's good to see you guys. One of the cards should be getting tail. Good to see you guys. So I'm working on a game that it's a space shooter with a turn-based RPG battle system. So it's menu-driven. So I was working on a concept yesterday. I want to make games for legacy platforms, and I was working on a concept for just a puzzle game. And the idea, I kept working on the idea, and the idea accidentally turned into a space shooter with an RPG turn-based battle system. So learned that from Gex. Do you guys remember when Gex was almost a huge mascot. He was almost as big as like Crash Bandicoot. They were really pushing him for a while. Like I remember reading EGM magazines and whatnot, and they talked about, oh, Gex is, you know, he's the next cool guy. Okay, so I'm going to open my notes here, but I need to avoid accidentally spoiling anything that is confidential, so I'm just going to do that on a second screen here really quick. Guys, I'm going to get a cheesy volcano for lunch from Domino's. So the cheesy volcano, if you guys haven't seen it, it's my new personality type. I've decided that my whole personality is going to revolve around the cheesy volcano from Domino's. I had it one time and I liked it so much that that's my new personality. I am not going to shut up about it. I am just going to only have the cheese volcano. So this is it here. I will never shut up about it. This is my new personality type. It's cheese volcano. You know how like you have a friend who likes weed so much that that's all they talk about, is they're constantly talking about smoking weed. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. You know, do what you want with your life as long as you're not hurting anyone. But when you're I know that's, you know, we all probably have a friend who has the weed hat, the weed belt buckle, the weed shirt, weed posters all around the room. And again, I'm not criticizing anyone. I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm saying that's what I'm going to be now, is that my personality is going to revolve around Cheese Volcano. There are some people that like weed so much that all of their decorations are weed stuff. I'm going to redo my whole house so everything revolves around the Cheese Volcano. This is me now. I'm going to get the Cheese Volcano hat, belt buckle, shirt, and I'm just going to constantly be telling people about how much I would like a Cheese Volcano. You're eating Domino's right now. We're sponsored, Adam. Adam, we're sponsored. You don't think that's in the U.S.? This is so good. So the top is melty. That's all like nacho cheese. That's stuffed crust. That's stuffed mozzarella crust. You can get like pepperoni garlic bread or whatever. It's like bread that's got pepperoni in it. You can dip that in there. You can dip your pepperoni pizza. Wow. So, look, this is the trade-off because Australia does not get nacho cheese and the U.S. does. So this is like the only place I can get nacho cheese from. So this is me now. I'm going to change all my usernames and everything, so all my avatars and things are just going to be related to the Cheese Volcano. So that's all I care about these days. How do I close this so I don't reveal anything? Okay. Okay. I don't care if I lose all of my subscriber count. I will not shut up about the Cheese Volcano. I'm just going to talk about it all day long. All right, I'll show you what my notes look like. Okay, so I like to take extensive notes before I start working on any project. What items did I have? Oh, this is, hold on. Okay, well, I guess don't look at those things. Space RPG concept development, special one. Okay, don't look at those things. Okay, let me zoom on in here. Okay. All right, I'm going to look at those details. I'm just going to enter them on up in there. And then, of course, oops. Okay, but you know that I gotta have my Cheese Volcano in there as well. So let me just adjust my whole window. There we go. So we can see my Cheese Volcano. That's present. Okay. So let me go ahead and get my actions in there. And I think it would be cool to get little graphics in there. Maybe I should make little graphics for these. Okay. It's visually more interesting, right? I'll use this poop icon as a placeholder graphic. So this is a placeholder graphic. Oops. Yeah, we don't get nachos. So, in Australia, if you order nachos from somewhere, they're going to take shredded cheese and they're going to put the shredded cheese on top. And if you're lucky, they'll heat it up and they'll melt it a little bit. And that's not nacho cheese, is it? So, this is the only nacho cheese we get, which is probably why I'm so obsessed with the cheese volcano. It is sad. It's very sad. I will add the cheese volcano to all my projects in your honor. Thank you, Doom Marine. Thank you. I do appreciate that. As all of you know, that's my whole identity. That's everything you need to know about me. If you need to know who I am, Cheese Volcano, man. Name this game Cheese Volcano. Cheesy Volcano Mukbang. I'll do it. I'll kickstart it. I'll do a Kickstarter for $10 to buy, which is only like $6.50 in US dollars. So I'll do a Kickstarter for $6.50. If we buy me a Cheesy Volcano, I'll mukbang that on YouTube. Make a Lord of the Rings type game. Must return the chip to the Cheese Volcano. But I do not know the way. Cheese and Dolph. It's not Gandalf. It's Cheese and Dolph. Culinary said, "Do you have lunchable nachos?" No, we don't. Were you kind of thinking I could like take all the cheese out of a cheesable like nachos thing and then put it all together? Because we cannot. You just have to accept that you can't have everything in life, you know? Okay. So this is the repair bot. Repair bot, not repair boy. I'm just realizing now that you can't really see because of the chat window. Okay. I might have to make the icon a little smaller. Okay. Now I just need to make sure... So right now there's not enough space, because if you have a look here, the items will intersect. These are placeholder graphics, they're a little poop. So we need to increase our spacing a little bit. And that's probably... So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need 10, so I may need 2 rows on this. So let's just see. I think I will need 2 rows. We'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, 10. Hey, they all fit. Great. Play some chill music from Silver Falls for a bit. Okay, so I'll take my ideas here. We have repair bot, so we need room for a description window as well. And so I'm going to leave room for that. Here, I'll go like this. I just duplicate that for no reason. I mean, I didn't have to do that. There's no reason. Okay, and the description window will be here. I want the elements to align neatly, so yeah, I don't want them to be. I don't want it to clash and look messy. But like something like that looks kind of neat, doesn't it? It sort of builds up. So the description will be in there. Let's go ahead and adjust that, and we'll just put some placeholder text in there. This item, let's center justify that like this, makes it so you don't have to be a sad adult. Disappointed. Oh, we want to wrap with how things turned out. And that text window says, this item makes it so you don't have to be a sad adult disappointed with how things turned out for you. That's just my placeholder text. Alright. let's go ahead and I'll just put my item names in here so I don't need this anymore. So we have the repair bot. So the repair bot is for repairing your own ship. Text. Repair beam is for healing your party members. Repair beam. We have flash pack. And the flash pack says it's a stun attack. It's a good thing I took these notes because I've already forgotten all of these items. Blaster pack. Blaster pack is a reference to Galaxy Drifter, which is my game that I'm finishing. It's set in the same universe. Reflector pack. Reflector pack so you can bounce back enemies' attacks. Let's see. Reflector pack. Scatter pack. So scatter pack lets you shoot a bunch of bullets everywhere. You don't necessarily need to aim. It'll just shoot everywhere like a big old flare. Booster pack. I wanted it to sound like it was a card trading game, didn't I? Booster pack. That allies attack faster, which is pretty nice. Cool. I've done a mistake. I've done a terrible mistake here. What can I do that will save me the most amount of time? I'm just going to have to type it all over again. It didn't take me that long to type it. I was distracted because I'm hanging out with you guys on the chat. And honestly, I was distracted because I was thinking about having cheesy volcano for lunch, which I will have. I will have that for lunch. Nothing will stop me. I will be unstoppable when it comes to getting to Domino's to get a cheesy volcano. So we'll put the X there. And we'll put the quantity. Okay, so I'll put the quantity of the item, just in case we want to have, you know, like up to 99. We want to make sure that our spacing looks okay. Okay. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. I'll just type it all over again. This is repair beam. Okay. Repair beam. Flash pack. And again, there will be permadeath, so me personally, as a player, I would be spending all of my star gold on repair beams so I could heal my party members, because I hate permadeath in games. I hate losing characters. But that's part of the appeal, is you keep collecting more, you know. Nothing in this world is permanent, etc., etc. A flash pack will stun the enemies. It's, you know, like a defensive tool. Flash packs. Blaster pack. And again, for this world, that the sort of lore that I've created for what have I done? I ruined some text there. The sort of world that I created for Galaxy Drifter, and of course this game Starformer, there's a sense of disposability. It feels like they're traveling through space with 70s technology. Blaster pack. Reflector pack. That will deflect enemy bullets. Or will it reflect enemy bullets? Because it's called a reflector pack, isn't it? Scatter pack. Booster pack. Booster pack. Okay, in the chat, what is your favorite top-down shooting game? Do you have a favorite? What is your favorite one? For me, it's tough because I really like Galaga. I grew up playing Galaga, but there's a game on the original PlayStation called Philosima. Has anyone heard of that? That may be too deep of a cut. That's a real deep cut for everyone. I was obsessed with Philosima because I had the demo, so I could only play a certain amount. But it was one of the first things that I can remember about the PlayStation was Philosima. It was so cool. It had like 3D environments and graphics, and I just come from the Super Nintendo. So seeing a game like Philosima just blew my mind. I was so obsessed with it. How do you spell that? We're going to YouTube. Philosoma. I was obsessed with this game. That's a tough one. I love Life Force on the Eskroma. Nice. If it was like a shooting game in the 8-bit and 16-bit era, I probably played the heck out of it. Let's just watch a little bit of this. Let's watch Paul Eels play Philosoma. Yo, what? Oh, this is my React channel. Guys, I'm a YouTuber. Yo, what up, snitches? Today I'll be reacting. This is welcome to my React channel. Today I'm reacting to Paul Eels playing Philosoma on the PlayStation. Okay, here we go. I've never seen this before. This is my first time reacting to it. I'm gonna be reacting to Philosoma. Whoa, man, those graphics. Check out those graphics. Whoa, man. What? That's so cool, man. I'm a React channel now. Whoa, that's so cool. Whoa, check that out. I don't even believe that. I've never seen that before. Yo, chat, I've never seen that, man. Sick, man. What? What are words that young people use? That's fizzy, man. What? Damn, I got fizzed up from all that. Shit. I'm fizzed up. Yo. People say that on TikTok, right? I've gotta figure out what the kids say. I'm gonna go forward a little, like, check out the backgrounds and the massive asteroids. This was one of the first PlayStation 1 games. And it did others, like the transitions were sick. Look at those backgrounds. Oh man, watching this. Yeah, what? Oh, sick. Yeah, what though? Yeah. Oh man, what? Y'all subscribe to my TikTok, yo. What? Shit. Oh man, that's so cool. I don't even believe that. Whoa, that's so rad. What? Yeah, what? You played the beginning of Ikaruga. I played Ikaruga, what day is it? I played it yesterday. I had some friends over because I just got a Dreamcast. And we played Ikaruga with a 2-player mode. Oh, that game is so cool. It's so hard. I don't think I'm good enough to play Ikaruga though. Yeah, so this is... Yeah, look at the weapons. I'll go forward a little bit. But I remember this. The stages do this sort of 3D thing. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to be a YouTube reactor. What? No way. Oh, that's so mad. What? Hold on. I think I have to do this too. Hold on. So this, hold on. This goes here like that. I got to make sure I do YouTube streaming correctly. I go to YouTube again, and what do I do? Subway Surfer. Okay. Am I doing this right? Yeah! Burn, burn, burn! What? Oh, that's sick, yo. What? Oh, that's the coolest game I ever seen, man. That's so cool. Damn, what a cool... That's so sick. What a cool game, man. Yeah, what? Yeah, what? I'm fizzed up, yo. Anyway, I think I did it. I think I've done a React channel correctly. Anyway, that's Philosoma. I'm gonna say that might be my favorite space shooting game, but Ikaruga is so cool too. I got to level 2. I love the glasses. I got to level 2 on Ikaruga, and I got killed by the air conditioners in that stage. Oh no, my friends got to the boss in stage 2, and then we got murdered. I got the mighty number 9 on handheld. You did it. You finally got mighty number 9 on PS Vita. Hey, good to see you, Juan. Good to see you. Juan Gomez, 444444. You forgot to exaggerate your reactions and call the game the best of all time and terrible and unplayable. I'm still learning as a React channel, so, you know. I should... No. What I should do is attack you for offering helpful criticism. So you've offered helpful criticism, so I need to be like... Y'all are haters, man. Y'all are haters. You can't fizz on my riz is a phrase that I'm sure young people say. Y'all are haters despite the fact that you're helping me with criticism. I'm gonna ban you from the chat, yo. What? Okay. That was exhausting. I am utterly exhausted. AZ Master Gamer. I am absolutely exhausted from pretending to be a streamer. I'm actually like so tired. My soul has left my body a little bit. How long did it take you to master Unity? I wouldn't say I've mastered it because there's still so much more that I can improve and learn. I would say that I'm very proficient at making games efficiently in Unity, but there's so many different aspects. I don't think I'll reach a point where I would ever say I'm a master of Unity, because there's so much that I know where my blind spots are in terms of using certain development environments, and in Unity I focus specifically on what I need. There are parts of Unity that I don't need, that I don't use, so I don't develop skill in those areas, which means I don't think I qualify as a master at that point. I think a master can do absolutely everything at the highest level possible. But in terms of reaching this level of proficiency where I can develop very quickly with basically no resistance whatsoever, it took years and years of hard work. But I would say after about after about 5 or 6 years, if you're constantly using it and you set out to improve your abilities, you should reach a level where you can create extremely quickly and efficiently with minimal resistance, and it doesn't take much effort. Like I multitask. I do multiple parts of game development simultaneously, and that's because this part's very easy to me now. So I can do multiple things at once. Okay, Drill Pack is for asteroids. Drill Pack. So thanks for sharing Philosoma with me. That's one of my favorite games on the PlayStation. Mr. Pack, Drill Pack. RAM. Expansion. There's a RAM expansion pack. Wait, what? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've done something twice. What have I done twice? I did Flash Pack twice. Nobody... This is what you get for trying to be a YouTuber or streamer. I'll just delete it. Just delete that. I'll fix the file name, or the object names later. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Overdrive Pack. Overdrive Pack! Oh, no, I know what I wanted to call it. Because it's computer and technology themed. Overclock, that's what I meant. Overclock Pack. Okay, I no longer need that document right now, so here we can probably start programming the menu logic as well. Okay, so this is what it will look like. What's my screen like that? So let's just have a look at what it'll be like. So this item makes it so you don't have to be a sad adult disappointed with how things turned out for you. I would say, even after 1 year of Unity, if you're constantly using it, you can be quite comfortable with it. But you're still going to be in the learning process at that point, but you can still make stuff pretty comfortably, even after 1 year, but smaller scale. It's when you've used it more and more is when the complexity of your projects can pick up. Okay, let me make sure that there's no typos here. So, cool. Great. So I'm just going to create a little bit of menu logic, and menus are boring. I don't want to bore you guys. Programming menus is the most boring part of game development. That's just, for me. Maybe, okay, in the chat, how do you guys feel about programming menus? Do you enjoy it? Is it fun for you, or is it a slog? For me, it's the least fun part, because you're doing a ton of work just to make a cursor move around the screen. And I'm not saying that the menus are boring or the menus are not fun. I'm saying programming menus is not fun. Menu position.
Didn't you say the game is mostly menus? I did. Well, I mean, like, it's not most... Okay, so... Galaxy Drifter is mostly menus, right? And this game, Starformers, it's menu-driven. You know, it's entirely controlled through menus. But there's a lot of visual stuff going on, you know? There is action going on. You're controlling the action through menus. And the reason why I made these two games so menu-driven is because I want to bring these games to legacy consoles, and you do not need a huge amount of proficiency programming for a console if the game is menu-driven. If you have things like colliding with the terrain, you have unique maps, you know, and towns and world maps and enemy AI behaviors and enemy attacks and projectiles, that stuff you have to have very good proficiency with the console on which you are developing. If your game is menu-driven, you do not need a lot of proficiency to develop a game, because it means I'll be able to bring them to legacy platforms very easily. But it also means that it's very boring. Programming menus is so boring. I feel my soul leaving my body a little. Okay. That's just the cool stuff. I want to program the cool stuff, man. Procedure cards. I might just call them punch cards in the game. You need something that's your party members. Great. Is Clash Your Balls finished? Clash Your Balls is almost finished. I think I'm gonna leave out a multiplayer mode because I did want to try and work in a multiplayer mode. But I think I'll save that. I need to see how people play the game first before I work on a two-player versus. I'm working on one thing to finish on Clash Your Ball, which is the infinite mode. So you have your preset puzzles, and there's going to be an infinite mode. I'm just programming that right now. If I had one day to work on that, I would give the game more visual polish. I have to polish the menus a little bit, and then finish the infinite mode, and then Clash Your Balls will be finished. So that's going to be launching pretty soon. I'm going to put that, you know, on a few consoles and whatnot. Make a Persona level menu. Persona stuff looks so cool. Oh man, especially the modern stuff. Those menus are awesome. MasterCard. For me, the hardest part was to implement an upgrade system. I love that stuff. Yeah, I love the upgrade systems. What sort of upgrades are you talking about? What was I doing? I lost track of what I was doing. I totally lost it. Oh, right. Okay, action packs. I might go with procedure cards. Bombs. And of course you can deploy... Because, you know, in shooter games, you have bombs, right? So there's going to be a few different bombs. I wonder if I specified... Did I specify what bombs? Fire, electric, gravity, and plasma. Okay. I'll go ahead and get rid of that. Let's make them bigger. Bigger and badder. Ooh. Ooh. Hold on. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So the reason why I'm making these bigger is your bomb is your big, powerful thing, you know? Oops! I didn't put the inventory count on there. So I want to just copy that. Copy that. Text position 0. Okay. Let's look at my notes. I have fire, electric, gravity, and plasma. Of course, I'll make some cool graphics for that as well. Fire. Electric. Gravital. And plasma. Oh, it's capital L in there, isn't it? Ice cold coffee. I like it. I think I'm gonna place an order. I'm placing an order for lunch. I'm gonna go get Domino's. Anyway, that's all I will work on. That's all I'll do for today on stream. So yeah, let's just hang out. I'm gonna wrap up the stream now. I'm gonna order lunch. So yeah, I just want to thank everyone for hanging out. So thanks everyone. It's been really cool hanging out, working on games, just hanging out with you guys. So that's been really fun. So, yeah, we can hang out for a couple minutes, just chat, decompress. I hope you all have a good week. It's Sunday for all of you, isn't it? It's Monday. Monday for me. Mondays, am I right? Great. So, this game, after lunch, I can finish all the programming for this today. And I probably need another day to do all the visuals, and then one day for the graphics. For the soundtrack, and then sound effects, and then it's all done. Of course, I'll do testing and balancing and whatnot. So this game will launch on modern platforms, and then I will make legacy versions as well. PSP is going to be extremely easy for me to make. The DS is pretty easy for me. I want to do a version on Pokemon Mini because that's fun. If you guys want a version of this, go ahead and just let me know. Comment in Discord. Thanks. I will have a cheesy volcano because that's what I'm all about, man. I'm going to have my cheese volcano. I might dip some nacho chips in there. I'm going to have like the pepperoni bread thing. It's got cheese and pepperoni. I'm going to dip that in there. Very excited for that. So. Yeah, and if you guys want to contribute, I have a Patreon. Right now I'm trying to buy the hardware to make physical cartridges. I'm looking at the Game Gear and the Lynx, and I'm looking at other hardware as well. If you guys want to support that, I'm over on Patreon. The link's probably in the description. You can also donate directly on PayPal as well. So all the Patreon and stuff that people donate and contribute, I put that stuff towards development. I've already set up the ability to create Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games. And so I want to make a version of this as well for the Game Boy Color. I'm going to be doing Galaxy Drifter and this Starformers for the Game Boy Color. So I will make actual cartridges for those. And Elkin Fencer's done so much to help, and he's been a great patron on Patreon, and he's donated directly on PayPal, so I'm going to make sure that he gets priority. I'll send him the Game Boy version of this thing. So thanks everyone. Thanks so much for hanging out. It's been so much fun hanging out with all of you. Have a great week. Have fun working on your projects. Stay sane. Get a cheesy volcano too, because if you don't get a cheesy volcano, if you don't cheesy volcano, you're dead to me. And that's my new catchphrase. That's it.